Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel on LELB Society. This session, as usual, you are already familiar with the long journey of 1100 words you need to know. We are specifically in week 25, day 3. Week 25, day 3. Okay, so new words. Congenial. Congenial means supportive, appropriate, proper, pleasant, good. So sympathetic, agreeable. For example, if conditions are congenial, it means that everything is ready. Next word is hoard. As a verb means hide, store, accumulate. To gather something, particularly in order to use it in future. Sage means wise person. It's a noun and a philosopher. Aegis. Aegis means shield, protection, sponsorship. For example, say under the aegis of something. It means under the protection. Detriment. Injury, damage, hurt. The adjective form, detrimental. It's destructive. Okay, the context. Taken for granted. It's a very popular phrase or idiom in English. When you take something for granted, you assume that, for example, the thing that you are processing or dealing with is true without making any investigation. You accept it as an inevitability. It means that you do not search to notice if it is true, if it is acceptable, if it is okay or not. You take it for granted. Okay. Usually naive people take everything for granted. The presence of an ever-flowing supply of fresh, clean water is taken for granted. It means that, okay, we always think or imagine that we will have that supply of fresh and clean water forever. Supply of fresh and clean water. You know, on LELB Society, you can see these hyperlinks, and if you click on them, you will find some other posts with the same materials or content. So it's a great database, you know, to practice collocation in English. It's taken for granted. To be honest, I myself sometimes I refer to the posts on LELB Society and I use this search box. Like, let me show it to you. The search box here, this search box, so useful. You can search actually contents or specific words or phrases in English and make sure that you will end up finding something, locating some specific information. And sometimes I cannot, for example, find some collocation even in Longband dictionary, but I do find them here on my own website, and maybe actually you could take advantage of this specific feature on LELB Society too. Anyway. Okay, so alright, clean water is taken for granted. Unfortunately, this congenial condition, supportive condition, good condition, agreeable condition, I mean having a supply of fresh water, is fast disappearing. Fast is an adverb because we don't have fastly. Sorry, I have a cold these days. So it is disappearing, it is vanishing. As our population increases, as industry consumes more water each year, the level of our underground water supply sinks measurably. The level of our subterranean underground water supply sinks, declines, drops, goes down measurably, considerably, noticeably, significantly. There is no way to hoard water. You cannot accumulate it, but there are many ways to conserve it. Conserve means preserve it. Okay. During a particularly dry spell. Dry spell means dry period of time or era, or let's say famine, F-A-M-I-N-E, or drought. New York City found its reservoirs going dry. Reservoir here refers to the supply of water, or a huge amount or volume of something that has been kept or collected. Going dry. Only then did the residents begin to heed the sage advice to limit the wasteful uses of water. There has been an inversion here. Did the residents begin, not the residents began, because of only. So it just inverts the rest of the sentence in a question form, but the whole sentence is a statement. Only then did the residents, New Yorkers, begin to heed or give attention to, pay attention to the sage advice, wise advice, to limit the wasteful or profligate or extravagant uses of water. Under the aegis of the Water Commissioner, under the support, with the aid of Commissioner or Governor, citizens were encouraged to develop habits that would save water. Citizens of New York tried to, for example, rethink or reconsider their consumption patterns or habits. Develop habits that would save water. The continued imprudent waste by each of us of this most basic resource will work to the detriment of all. Continued, persisted, imprudent means unwise, not wise, insensible, illogical. Waste by each of us of this basic resource, it refers to water, will work to the detriment of all. It could be destructive to all mankind, not just one person. Sentences. Number 1. Isn't it a pity we can't hoard the ideal days of autumn? Isn't it regrettable or pitiable or deplorable that we cannot save the beautiful or interesting or lovely days of autumn, the season? It's a question. A rhetorical question, perhaps. A man may be a sage everywhere, but at home he is called a square by his youngsters. Okay, there has been a duality here. A man is a sage, a wise person everywhere, but at home he is called a square, means a boring person, nerd, N-E-R-D, nerd, a boring, uninteresting person by his children. The tree in front of my house has the dubious honor of being the spot voted the most congenial by the dogs of the neighborhood. The tree in front of my house has the dubious honor. It is honorable or honored by dogs. By whom? By dogs. But Dubious means not real, intended to deceive. It's sarcastic, you know. Being the spot means place. Voted means selected by dogs. So here it says that the dogs really like the place or the tree because perhaps, for example, they could just seek shelter in there against the sunshine, or they just recline or lie down by the dogs of the neighborhood. The dogs of the neighborhood like the tree, the spot of the tree, because it's so congenial. It was fortuitous that at the last moment the mayor offered the aegis of his office in finding a solution to the problem. It was fortuitous means accidental, propitious, in a good way, in a positive way, that at the end, at the last moment, the mayor offered the support or aegis of his office in finding a solution to the problem. So before, the mayor was not cooperative enough, but after a while, actually at the end, or finally, or let's say in the end, he became more cooperative and supportive. A settlement that causes detriment to neither side is imperative. A settlement means agreement, a contract, negotiation that causes detriment or destruction to either side, to no specific side, because an agreement is made between at least two people or two organizations. So is imperative, is necessary, vital. So a settlement must be impartial. impartial. Impartial means not having any partiality. It means not sticking to just one side. It means unbiased, fair. And the idiom part, in the doldrums. In the doldrums means in a bored and depressed state. In a bored and depressed state. Mary has been in the doldrums since her best friend moved away. So her best friend moved away, moved to a new apartment, for example, and actually they just left the neighborhood, and Mary has been so down, has felt down or blue because of that. And thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this vocabulary unit or lesson, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive upcoming videos. I'm going to finish this fat book. I mean, 1100 words you need to know. That is a very intense book, and also there are so many units, as you know. But make sure that if you focus on actually these lessons provided by me, you can get a really good score at in IELTS or TOEFL exams. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel and actually get ready to focus on the rest of the classes. Thank you, and bye bye for now.